Thanks for joining us. I'm David Molko. We begin with an update on that incredible rescue in Cowlitz County as firefighters pulled a man from his truck 5 days after he'd driven off a ravine. Tonight, our Catherine Cook talked to the friend who found him alive.
I just knew I needed to do something.
It had been 5 days since Rhonda Wimmer's friend, 56-year-old Dan Stansberry, had vanished. The two don't live far from each other here in Longview. It's a tight-knit community. Rhonda cuts Stansberry's hair and often sees him driving here on Sunset Way.
I just kind of connected some dots.
And so on May 21st, Rhonda changed up her morning walk. She never hikes along Sunset, but on that Sunday, she did.
And I thought to myself, if I could just take a look and see anything suspicious, possibly some tire tracks leaving the road. And sure enough, 10 minutes into my walk, I saw some faint tracks and looked over the ravine, and I could see the back or the bed of his dark green truck, and I knew I found him.
Rhonda called 911 and her husband.
And then we started hollering for him, "Danny, it's Rhonda and Bob. Help's coming."
Cowlitz 2 Fire and Rescue and Longview Fire responded. They set up a rope system and carried Stansberry up the 150-foot ravine. A life flight helicopter flew him to Southwest Washington Medical Center. First responders say Stansberry was severely injured and ill after being in the car for 5 days. He was barely conscious, but alive. And they say because this area is so shady, it kept temperatures in the car cool, which likely delayed dehydration. Stansberry is still in the hospital, and Rhonda says his road to recovery will be long and hard.
Just keep praying for Dan, and the outcome's going to be good, I hope.
Now, thanks to Rhonda, he has a fighting chance.
So just do something you normally wouldn't do and go the extra mile, because it might pay off.
In Longview, Catherine Cook, KGW News.
Oh, it certainly did. What a story. Tonight, another person is recovering after they also got stuck at the bottom of a ravine for about 5 days. Last week, a driver crashed deep in the woods up the Molalla River corridor. Fire says the car went down a ravine in the Copper Creek area that's 18 miles into the forest there. The driver was unable to climb out, and as a last resort, you can see it here, officials say they set their car on fire Thursday, hoping to attract attention. Well, it apparently worked. Fire crews and Clackamas County Sheriff's deputies got a report that same day, and they started searching the area. After about 3 hours, they heard a yell for help, and they found the survivor. They were taken to the hospital. No word on their condition. Incredible. The wildfire season seems to be underway in Oregon with 8 active fires across the state. Thankfully, none burning out of control or threatening homes. The largest of them, about 300 acres in Lane County, just southwest of Veneta. It is called the 7K fire and sparked Friday evening, though tonight fire crews told us after 3.5 days of nonstop work, they've managed to build a containment line around the entire thing. Some of the challenges they have faced: strong winds, lack of access to water, and a steep terrain with thick vegetation.
We've had to truck in a lot of water to actually be able to do some good work. That is becoming one of our priorities now, is to continue and just completely build out our hose lay system that we have around the fire so that we can access water at every point.
Well, no word on the cause there. Weber also wants to remind people to have an evacuation plan in place and to put together an emergency go bag just in case. Developing tonight, the search for some teenagers who escaped from a medium to maximum security facility just outside of Seattle. And detectives say the teens could be in Southwest Washington since their getaway car was found in Vancouver. This all started early Sunday morning when detectives say 7 teens between the ages of 15 and 17 assaulted a staffer at the Echo Glen Children's Center just outside of Seattle and then took off in the victim's SUV. Now, 3 of the 7 were found in Burien near Seattle and taken into custody, but the other 4 are still missing. 2 of the teens were in the facility for murder, and police were warning neighbors to be vigilant.
They're saying stay in your house so that their police dog could scout around the yards and see if anybody was still hanging around.
Well, this is the 3rd time in a year and a half that teens have escaped from the Echo Glen Children's Center. Employees there have also called for more staff and security, citing a number of assaults on workers. To get you caught up on tonight's other headlines now, 9 people are without a home after it caught fire early this morning in Beaverton. This happened on Southwest Timberline near Bel Air Drive. Tualatin Valley Fire and Rescue says when they arrived around 2 this morning, they saw flames coming from the garage. Everyone made it out safely. Fire investigators say it appears the blaze started accidentally, but they haven't officially released the cause. For the second time in a week, Portland fire crews responded to a burning pile of rubble in North Portland near the Steel Bridge. Officials say flames were coming out of the large rubber pellet pile on North Thunderbird Way, right up against vacant grain silos. It created a huge smoke cloud. Crews responded to another fire at the exact same spot last Wednesday. In Northeast Portland, what began as a welfare check Saturday night ended up, police say, as a firearms bust. Police say they were checking on a man slumped over in a running car at Killingsworth and 48th. That's when they say they spotted the magazine of a handgun in the driver's waistband. Police say they backed off and woke up 28-year-old Devontae Zimmerly using a loudspeaker. They arrested him and say they also found 2 rifles, 2 shotguns, plus silencers in the vehicle. And 3 people are safe after their small fishing boat sank off the southern Oregon coast. The Coast Guard responding near Cape Arago, that's not far from Coos Bay. All 3 on board were found in the water wearing life jackets and showing signs of hypothermia. The trio were taken to the hospital. No word on their condition. In Salem, we are now headed into a 5th week of Republican-led walkouts in the Senate, which means proposed laws are stacking up. A bit of an understatement there. Evan Watson breaks down a few of the bills this session that are now at risk of going nowhere.
First up, Oregon senators need to approve bills to address Oregon's drug and fentanyl crisis. One would fix issues with the rollout of Measure 110 and support treatment and recovery programs throughout the state. Others would expand access to Narcan, an opioid overdose reversal drug that can be used to save people's lives. Next, Oregon has a shortage of public defenders. Sometimes cases are dismissed because there's no lawyer available to represent a defendant. Other times, defendants unnecessarily wait in jail for months before getting a chance at a hearing. Senate Bill 337 addresses this system. And a bill from the House would change how crime victims are treated and compensated. It passed with unanimous bipartisan support. And Oregon lawmakers need to figure out how to fund the I-5 bridge replacement. If Oregon doesn't work out its $1 billion contribution, that could put federal funding at risk. And as a top priority, lawmakers need to pass major budgets for schools, housing, government, and other areas. The group of Republican senators is also protesting the passage of other bills, ones that would provide abortion access for all ages and gender-affirming care, regulate guns, and enumerate marriage for all. Republicans have said that they'll return on the last day of the session to pass bipartisan budgets and bills, but Democrats have said they won't let that happen, saying Republicans in the minority don't get to pick and choose what goes through. So as it stands, the sides are still at a stalemate.